Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as always. And this is not just any ordinary edition of NoDQ&A video. This is episode number 350. That's right, 350 editions of NoDQ&A video. Just crazy. Over a 2-year period now, just over a 2-year period. Got a lot of questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for supporting NoDQ&A video and watching the videos and spreading the word on Facebook and Twitter. Keep it up, and today I'm going to, like I do every 50 videos, this is going to be a special extended edition. So let's get started here with the first question from MC Poach. How do you feel about all the bully characters going on in WWE now? Triple H, Randy Orton, The Shield, Ryback. With their Be a Star campaign, I feel like all of them need to get their comeuppance at some point. Well, here's the thing. WWE has had characters that are bullies going back decades, and not just WWE, but professional wrestling as a whole. So just because WWE has the Be a Star campaign doesn't mean that you cannot have bully characters in a scripted, fictional environment, because in the world of fiction, you have good guys and you have bad guys, and most of the time, the good prevails over evil. You look at John Cena. Time in and time out, he's always overcome the odds, and he's been the conquering hero. You go back several decades, guys like Hulk Hogan, same thing. He would defeat the big, nasty bullies like King Kong Bundy. So it's been going on for decades. WWE has always had bad guys, and the good guys usually overcome the bad guys and are victorious, and a positive message is sent out that if you work hard and you never give up, you can succeed. So, I mean, who cares if there's bully characters in wrestling? It's just fiction. Alright, this one comes from Stitches9413. Hey Aaron, long-time viewer, first time asking a question. Alright, right here on episode 350. Isn't the concept of Night of Champions for every championship to be defended, yet Curtis Axel is the IC champion and he is in a handicapped elimination match? Please answer in video. P.S. Love the show. Well, keep in mind this is the same company that forgot about Big Show's ironclad contract until all the fans made a big deal out of it and they had to mention it on television. Yeah, Night of Champions should be a pay-per-view where all the titles are on the line. That's how they've promoted it in previous years, although I don't think they've actually mentioned it this year that all the titles are on the line. I'm not sure if they have or not. I haven't been paying attention. But if you're going to bother with a themed pay-per-view, you might as well stick to what you're promoting. So, I mean, if they did promote it as every title being on the line this year, then every title should be on the line. And, you know, one person asked me, will Curtis Axel possibly lose the title before Night of Champions? I think that's unlikely, although there's still 1 week of television yet. So anything can happen. Alright, this one comes from Corey Parsons 56. Do you think the WWE should put Chris Benoit in the WWE Hall of Fame or leave him out after what he did? I am fairly certain I've answered this before, both in video and text, so I'll say it one more time here on episode 350 when I know a lot of people are watching. WWE is not going to put him in the Hall of Fame. Do I feel they should put him in the Hall of Fame? No. If I was running WWE, I would not want Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame. I would not want that negative publicity. I would want to stay as far away from Chris Benoit as possible. Now, would I completely ignore his role in the business? No. I would leave him in the DVDs, and I would not edit him out of pay-per-view matches. I would keep him in those matches and on those DVDs. But as far as glorifying him any further, I would not do that. I think WWE would be best to not mention Chris Benoit, if they don't have to, of course. Alright, this one comes from Little Dizzle 4000. Hey Aaron, big fan. I'm a fan of the show Total Divas, and I think it's very good as a wrestling fan. But I don't think it's a good idea for them to break kayfabe so much. It makes it seem so Hollywood and scripted, not so much mystic. Your thoughts? Well, I watched Total Divas. I did give in and started watching it for journalistic purposes only, of course. And here's the thing. I don't really feel that it's a big deal that they break kayfabe. First of all, they're not really doing it a whole lot. And second, I mean, everybody knows that wrestling is scripted, WWE is scripted, and I do think that that's a reason why the show is doing good ratings, because fans like the idea of being able to see what's behind the curtain a little bit, even if all the stuff they do on Total Divas is completely scripted anyways. I mean, it's still scripted. Even when they act like they're breaking kayfabe, it's still an act. So, I mean, I find that very amusing. But, yeah, just the idea that fans think that they're seeing something that they don't usually get to see when they watch the regular shows, I think that that's why the show is appealing to a lot of people. But yeah, I don't see any issue with them breaking kayfabe in the 21st century with the internet and all that. All right, this one comes from DB's Beer, and I'm assuming DB is Daniel Bryan. With Cody Rhodes being fired, do you think he could help Daniel Bryan? Please answer in video. That is definitely one scenario that WWE could go with. Now that Cody Rhodes is fired, he could technically come out and help Daniel Bryan because he's fired and he has nothing left to lose. So I absolutely could see them doing something like that, and it would not surprise me at all. But you know, who knows where they're going with this storyline? Who knows if they've even thought that far ahead? They might be going week to week here with the storyline, and you know, the word right now is that this whole storyline where Cody Rhodes got fired was a last minute thing. Like he was planning to get married and he wanted time off, but you know, I guess it was a last minute deal where they had to come up with something to write him off television. So, you know, it wouldn't put it past me for them to just bring him back completely randomly without any kind of reasoning behind it. But yeah, definitely would be a good idea to have him come out and help Daniel Bryan if the storyline is not in a completely different direction by the time he comes back, and that's very likely. All right, this one comes from Freaky Fairy. Dear, after the WWE posted an article with Stone Cold giving advice to Daniel Bryan, I've seen a lot of people rumoring that he's coming back to help Bryan. I think they just did this because of Austin's past with the McMahons. What do you think? I think that they did it to get people going on the website and getting clicks. I mean, that's the bottom line, as Stone Cold would say. Would Austin come back and help Daniel Bryan? I think it's very unlikely. I think that, once again, if Austin does come back at some point, it'll be for one more big match at WrestleMania. So that would be down the line. Austin would not be coming back, you know, in the middle of September or October or whatever. He would be coming back February, March to build up WrestleMania. So I don't see that happening. Would he make a cameo appearance maybe on Raw and help Daniel Bryan? I mean, I suppose it could happen. Never say never, but I just don't see him coming back for a one-shot deal to do a run-in or whatever. I think that if he does come back, it will be for something more significant than that. And that's very much uncertain at this point if he even comes back, period. All right, this one comes from Sting HBK 316. Who has worse theme music, Ted DiBiase Jr. or Stephanie McMahon? Both of her themes. Well, I didn't mind the All Grown Up song or whatever it was, the first one she had, although it was kind of ridiculous when she had it in 2009, 2010. So, I mean, she did need a theme change, although I'm not a big fan of the new theme at all. And that is a tough question. I could not tell you which one is worse. I would have to say they're both equally worse. You know, neither theme. I don't even know how they go. I mean, that's how bad they are. They're just generic rap songs. I guess you know, DiBiase's song at least talks about money or whatever. So whatever. I'll say his is a little bit better than Stephanie's. All right, this one comes from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, don't you think WWE should turn Fandango face? I think it's inevitable that he'll turn babyface at some point just because the crowd likes to do the dance, or at least they did the week after WrestleMania. They haven't really done much since. Although, at SummerSlam, he did get a pretty big pop, and a lot of people were doing the Fandangoing. So yeah, I think at some point they'll just go with that and turn him face when they have nothing else left to do with him and they're not sure what direction to take him. You know, I could very well see him going face at some point. and that might be a last resort for his career, keeping that gimmick alive. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, this one comes from ValVenus90. Wow, we have all these interesting usernames. Sting, ValVenus, 316. Hey Aaron, love tuning into NoDQ from Dublin, Ireland. First time question, please answer in video. All right, we got another first time question here. Do you think at Survivor Series we'll see a Team Bryan versus Team Orton elimination match with Bryan Show, Rhodes, Ziggler, and Henry versus Orton the Shield and Triple H and Ryback? Going back to the earlier question about Cody Rhodes possibly helping Daniel Bryan, that does seem like an interesting match for Survivor Series, but with the way the storyline's going, who knows what direction it's going to be in 2 weeks from now. I mean, WWE might go in a completely different direction by the time Survivor Series rolls around. I mean, it's quite possible that Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton won't even be feuding anymore. It could be Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk or CM Punk versus Randy Orton. And another thing is that I don't see the WWE title match competitors, the guys in the WWE title picture, being in a Survivor Series match. I don't think WWE is going to have the WWE champion in a elimination match. I think that WWE will continue the trend of having a WWE title match as the headlining match for the pay-per-view. You know, the elimination matches at this point are secondary, and you know, WWE doesn't rely on those matches as the main draw for the pay-per-view. So you know, I think it's a long shot for that match to happen. On paper, it sounds like something interesting if Survivor Series was 2 weeks from now. But, you know, that's in November. There's still Night of Champions and then Battleground and then Hell in the Cell. So, you know, by the time Survivor Series rolls around, you know, I think the Bryan and Orton feud might be over and done with. All right, this one comes from Nikki Sturzu. Dolph Ziggler seems to be out of the title picture for the moment. When do you see Dolph competing for a title? To be honest with you, I think it's going to be a while before Dolph Ziggler is back in the title picture. Right now you have RVD and Del Rio in the world title feud, and after the Night of Champions pay-per-view, I'm expecting Rey Mysterio to make his comeback, and you know, the natural feud is to have him come back and try to take out Del Rio. You know, Del Rio's been doing these promos calling himself the Mexican hero, so that seems to be an obvious setup for Rey Mysterio's eventual comeback. And that'll go on for several months unless Rey gets injured again, and that's always a possibility. But yeah, I mean, right now, unfortunately for Dolph Ziggler, he seems to be lost in the shuffle. I mean, no question, he's a guy that doesn't really have a solid direction right now, and that's extremely unfortunate. I mean, earlier this year he was the world champion, and you know, he was breaking out. He was on his way to being a top star in WWE, and now he's kind of gotten pushed aside again. But one of these days he will get his big run, I think. It's just a matter of time. Like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, the cream rises to the top, and you know, Ziggler's so talented that he will get there eventually. It's just a matter of time and patience. All right, one more question today from CPW1978. Cheers, Aaron. What matches that have not happened in WWE and TNA would you like to have seen? Mine would be Chris Benoit and Owen Hart, Batista and Lesnar, Ambrose and AJ Styles, CM Punk, James Storm, Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Samoa Joe, Dean Malenko. Well, the biggest match that we never got to see that I would have liked to have seen would have been Stone Cold versus Goldberg. You know, growing up during the Monday Night Wars, that was the match that everybody wanted to see. Austin, the top star of WWE, versus Goldberg, the top star of WCW. Another match, Hogan and Austin. The closest we got was a tag team match where it was Austin and The Rock against the NWO, Hogan, Hall, and Nash on Raw. But we never got that one-on-one Austin-Hogan match. That would have been huge. Another one, John Cena versus Hulk Hogan. Like The Rock and Hulk Hogan, the two biggest stars of different eras going at it. And, you know, another match, another fantasy match that people talk about that I feel bad we never got to see is Sting and The Undertaker. I mean, I remember when I used to subscribe to Mad Magazine back in the 90s, and they had a little parody article with Undertaker and Sting. So yeah, and they were two of the biggest stars. They both had the dark characters, the supernatural-like characters. So it only made sense for those two to go at it. And as you mentioned, Batista and Lesnar, I don't know if they ever had an actual one-on-one match to my knowledge, but I mean, certainly those two would have been something interesting. So yeah, those would have been my top picks. All right, that'll do it for episode number 350 of No DQ&A Video. Tell a friend, anybody you know who watches wrestling, have them check out No DQ&A Video. Keep spreading the word. Share the video on Facebook and Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ, DOTCOM, or at Aaron Rift, and same thing for Facebook. NoDQ, DOTCOM is the official Facebook page for NoDQ, and I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Aaron Rift, and on the Facebook pages I have all the galleries from the SummerSlams I've been to at Staples Center, and lots of other events like the Royal Rumble and No Way Out 2008. So check me out on Facebook, and if you want to discuss WWE and TNA with other fans, go to facebook.com/groups/NoDQ, DOTCOM. That's the official discussion group for NoDQ.com. And of course, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Night of Champions. With that being said, I will see you guys next time for episode number 351 of No DQ&A Video.